Hey, how you doing? This is Kitch, and you are watching me play Factorio. I made a little scale model of our fuel distribution setup up there to make it a little bit easier to play with and also to minimize my pistol collection. That seems to be getting quite large lately. And it seems to be working okay in that it has the exact same problem that our other setup that our main setup has, and that's that little additional nuclear fuel here that is showing up on the end of the belt. And the reason that the best I can tell, the reason is that there is a short time where this nuclear fuel cell is not accounted for in our need count, which is it has to be in the chest, or on the belt count, which it basically exists from the time that it's on the belt to this inserter grabs it. When this inserter grabs it, it sends the pulse, and then the whole rest of the time this guy is in this inserter's hot little hands, it's not being counted, which throws everything off. Now, is it a big deal? I'm not sure. James had suggested, and I also had set this up like almost immediately after the video ended. It seemed like a reasonable thing to just loop it back around, and that's currently what the system is doing. It's looping around. It's hard to see in the dark. Because, I mean, it's being accounted for. We have a signal of T-1, which means that we have one more than we need. That's how you translate that, which is an accurate representation of what is happening here. And, I mean, if we take a couple of these out, just throw them back in there. I mean, it's working fine. Everything gets filled up, and we still just have our extra one. It's okay, but it's not optimal. Really burning through this science. Really like that. So I started thinking about some other solutions, and I'm thinking I may have come up with one. Let's just test it out. Let's see. Can we move this where it's not plugged in? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, our problem, as best as I can tell, is that nuclear fuel cell is not being counted while this inserter has it in its hands. We get a pulse, but after that pulse, it needs to be counted, but it's not. So the easy way to do that would be to turn this into a hold signal instead. We set it to default to pulse, which means whenever it grabs something, it's only going to send one signal, just one short little pulse to say that we have it. Hold means that he is going to send that signal out for as long as it is in his hot little hands. So that is definitely what we want. Let's go ahead and unhook that from, well, unhook that from that and unhook it from the subtractor for now. And let's take that signal and then combine it into the back of the one that is calculating our need. So now this nuclear fuel count right here should be a combination of what we have in the chest plus whatever the inserters have in their hands. So that then gets subtracted from the total amount that we need to calculate our actual need, which I think will correct the problem. But in doing that, we have created a brand new problem in that we can't send this into the back of this signal now to decrement our counter because that's going to be a pulse. And if this guy has it in his hands for a second or 0.5 seconds and we're doing, it's going to just send a constant signal there that's going to make this counter just go haywire. So we can do that with an edge detector, I believe. This is a circuit that I went over, I think, in the creative mode. I think we used it in Practical Factorio to make our train stations make a ding. And it's one that I really like, and one that I don't use nearly as often as I probably should. So yeah, we're going to lay down an arithmetic combinator and a decider combinator. On the decider combinator, we are going to set it. If each signal coming in is greater than 0, we're going to output it. And on the arithmetic combinator, we're going to take each signal coming in and subtract -1, or multiply it by a -1, and then output it. And we are going to send our pulse signal into both of these. Now, there's a little bit of a circuit network quirk, if you're not familiar with it, when you deal with combinators. Basically, the rules are that if it's traveling along a wire, a signal traveling along a wire, it happens instantaneously. So at the instant this guy sends out a signal, this combinator up here is going to get it. If a signal travels through a combinator, so like taking this one, for example, for each coming in, we're going to output each. So for it to go from be received here and then to go out that wire, there's actually a 1 tick delay. So there is a tiny bit of a delay as it goes through the combinator, so the combinator can do the calculation. It's kind of annoying if you're not expecting it, if you don't understand it, but if you understand it, there's some things you can do with it that are actually very handy. So this guy's going to grab a nuclear fuel cell, and that 1 is going to go into both of these. 1 is greater than 0, so that is going to go through that one. So yeah, let's just go ahead and send that. We want to send this into the back of our subtractor now, because that's going to be our subtractor output. And then we're going to take that 1 and send it through this combinator and multiply it by -1, and then send it into the back of this combinator. Okay, so when the very first time that guy gets picked up, so tick 1 of when that signal is sent, it's going to go to the back of this combinator and this combinator. On the next tick, that is going to have a value of 1. That's going to have a value of 1. So in that tick, it's going to do its calculations. This one's going to output 1 because that's what's coming in now is 1. And this one is going to output a -1 and send it as the output in here. Now on tick 3, the next one after that, we're going to have a 1 and a -1 coming in. And those are going to cancel each other out, so that value is no longer going to be greater than 0. It's going to actually be 0, so it's not going to go through anymore. So that gives us a 1-tick pulse that comes through, and we can now decrement our counter with. Not confusing at all. There's a video I made a while ago where I slow it down tick by tick on how a counter works. It's the same delay that makes a counter work that we're working with here. But yeah, we're gonna take the pulse in and use a little bit of magic to convert it over into a pulse and send that on, and that should work a lot better. Let's just test it out. Let's see. All you guys are empty. Let's go ahead and fill up this chest, and let's just double check. We've got our pulse signal going into the back of this, and we've got our pulse signal going into the back of this, and that is going into our decrementer later, and this should be good to go, unless it's not. I'm just kind of watching the counts over on the right-hand side to make sure they look correct. Looks like it's sending out the pulse as soon as it grabs it, which is why we were seeing what we were seeing. We can go ahead and take that off, and we don't have any extras. We don't have any extras, and everything is the way that it should be. All right, let's grab a couple more of these out. I'm happy. Let's send it to QA. Nah, not QA. Let's send it straight to production. That was QA. so I think this is working out. You should need 5. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the line that you are being fed. All right. And down here where we are, our count is correct. Everything looks good. Good enough for me. I'm very happy with it. And no pistols collected at all. None. I don't know whose pistol that is. I just found it on the ground. So yeah, that should be good. We probably want to let that run a little bit for a while in production, just to make sure that everything is okay. But I do want to spend this episode measuring some stuff out to laying out the next module. So originally, what I had thought I wanted to do was take this module and then just bump it up as close to this, take a blueprint of this module and just bump it up as close to this module as we possibly can. I'm not too eager to do that for 3 reasons. 1, we have a patch right here that I just put miners on, and I don't want to build over it quite yet. 2, this is our main rail here that goes all the way back to the base. I want to keep that. I'm not excited to rerun that. But those 2 are relatively minor. I mean, we could do that. That's not going to be a problem. The real thing I'm concerned about is getting all of these stations so close together with these super long trains. We really haven't had a problem yet, but it's just a problem waiting to happen. So I would like to spread that out as much as we can. And maybe even end up adding some extra track logistics to this side to be able to handle all this traffic. I don't know. Once we get 2 of them, I think things are going to become a little bit more clear. Possibly even 3. There's some traffic stuff over here we might have to address. So in doing that, where are you going out? Good, you are. The distance from this to this main track, if you just notice there, it's pretty close to the distance between of one of those big trains. So I think if we started on the other side of this rail and kept that exact spacing going all the way down, it's going to be a benefit to us. So now we just need to get that spacing. Let's see. We should have the blueprint. That is was our most up-to-date blueprint, but it is currently not. And boy, this is okay. So that's lining up with the track. That should be next to the track. That should give room for signals. And let's just do one more because reasons. Oh, and turn off the bots. Turn off the bots. Oh, we got substations here too. Is that going to conflict with signals? No, it's not. Okay, actually, this is right. I like this. This works. All right, so what I want to do is, now that we've placed that blueprint, it's not valid. There's some changes that we've made. But what is still valid is the location of this track right here, which I'm very interested in knowing that. All right, so we've marked that. If I Control Z this, is that going to remove just the stuff we laid down by blueprint, or is it going to do the tracks? It's going to do the tracks too. But that's okay because we don't have our robots on, so we can just do that. And then we can come back up here and pick up all this stuff. Just checking. Yeah. I wonder why it didn't take away the trees. You take away the tracks, but not the trees. Well, they're going to have to go eventually. Might as well get a little bit of a head start on it. All right, so this rail right here is going to be our go-to. This is going to be the main rail system, main rail area of the next system that we place. All right, something like that should be good. Just starting out. All right, so I'd like to get a blueprint of all of this and just paste it down. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to work. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, this needs to go down. How many tiles? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles. To be able to fit that curve. Because that curve could affect this up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just to be on the safe side. We're going to cover that iron patch. I don't know that I really care, though. Did I say iron? I meant uranium. Did I say uranium? I meant uranium. Let's see. There's a little bit off there. I just want to make sure. Okay, that is at least being deconstructed. Speaking of uranium, let's just check, see what's going on here. Got a little bit of a deficiency there. Because we're out of 235. Why are we out of 235? Oh, probably because I increased the amount of nuclear bombs that I wanted to make quite significantly, and I bet it just ate through it all. Got 100 of it there, and 100 nuclear bombs. Totally worth it. All right, so let's go up here and grab this blueprint now of the main station. Yeah, I think what I was trying to say is I would like to take a big blueprint of the entire thing, but I don't know any good tips or tricks on how to place very large blueprints accurately. It's not something that I've ever been able to reliably do. So I think we're going to have to break it up into a couple of them. Let's grab this and... Oh, I'm going to get hit by a train. I don't have to, but I'm going to. Yeah, try to avoid the tracks where we can. And whenever you're... Let's try to not go in between the trains. Oh, that's going to grab all these dumb requester chests. That's fine. We'll pick it up. And let's make sure we're grabbing this curve. We are. All right, let's grab that. Oh, we grabbed all this stuff down here, too. Try to remove it. I'll be honest, it's not easy. Yeah, we're going to have to clean some stuff up. We do want the station names, however. Trains, not so much. And there's still some garbage down here. That get it? I think so. Oh, we can get rid of it right here. Get rid of just inserters, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're using those anywhere else. That one and that one. Did we get it? If not, we'll do one more time. All right. There we go. All right, and then I want to get a blueprint of this. And one science setup. I would like to get 2 science setups. I'm not sure if that's going to work. Let's not do that. Let's start it from there instead. And that way we should be able to get 2 science setups, no problem. Many problems. But it should be a little bit easier. It's like I don't want to walk on the tracks, but I just saw that train leave, so we should be safe. And I don't want to walk through the trees, and I don't want to walk through the science facility. Let's go to that track. All right, and let's just work with these 2 for now and see how that works. Not taking any chances. Oh, we turned off. A lot of walking in this episode. It's okay. Need a little bit of exercise. Never hurts for a developer to get a little bit of exercise. And I've been not doing well with that lately. Between making videos and I also took on a little bit of contract work, so I pretty much sit in front of a computer all the time. It is not good for me. Luckily, the weather is getting a little bit warmer out, so I'm hoping to be able to spend lunch breaks and things like that doing a little bit of walking and jogging and things. Let's see. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. That's the bottom rail, right? I'm pretty sure that's the bottom rail. We are looking at the iron station and the copper station, so that is it. Oh, no. Well, I mean, we do want to build it, but I would rather just make sure everything is placed correctly first. All right, so that is all of you. And then let's get our blueprint number 2. We're not going to be able to place it. No, we are. We can. All right, so that is it right there. Okay, and that gets rid of all the stuff down there. Let's just check the top area here and make sure everything is kosher. I can walk across these tracks. I can walk up them all day long. We should be fine. All right, and there's enough space there for that curve, which is what I was concerned about. And, of course, there's going to be enough space over there. All right. Release the hounds. Let's get this stuff built. Yeah, I didn't put a option for auto building this station. And I think I talked about it earlier. There's a couple of reasons why I did not. One of them is that we got a problem. I meant to rename the stations first before I put down the blueprint. Yeah. I have to do it again. I'm gonna have to do it again. I don't see another choice. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rebuild this. I'm gonna have to build this all by hand, or at least by robot this way. Because I don't want the robot network that we would need to connect all of this to happen. Because I want to keep all those robot networks separate. And the other thing is that it's kind of a thing where you have to be able to build the stations before you can automatically build the stations. I don't know. There might be a way to sneak that in there, at least maybe the first part of it. But I'm okay for now. Just laying this out. I'm perfectly content to do this because I have the power of in between episodes. And speaking of which, that is what I'm going to do in between episodes is get this all straightened out. And boy, you know, robots. It's fine. I get it. I just wish this was happening when I was setting up the nuclear setup as well. I don't know why I was expecting it wouldn't happen now. It's just that I feel like we're at such a late point in the game where that shouldn't be a thing anymore. The having to deal with like this robot. There should be a way for us to not do that. And I know there's a developer that made a mod that makes it where the robots charge better. I actually used that one of the playthroughs. So I guess that's kind of vanilla-ish. But I mean, the thing is that there's nothing I could do. There's nothing that can help. I mean, the robot speed may, but it doesn't really help a lot because as far as I know, the robot charging is not based off the speed or the time. It's based off the distance. So it just means they uncharge faster. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old and grumpy. But it just seems like there should be a way to get around that. Or at least tech out of it. Okay, off the soapbox. All right, well, I'm going to go through and rename all of these stations to S1.x or S1.3, S1.4, S1.5, S1, S1. So that way we don't have station conflicts. Our blueprint will say the S0, which is what we want. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next episode. Have a good one.